Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm playing Slot Waste. It's $5 on Steam and looks like a very weird game, which is right up my alley. Using a controller for this, and unfortunately there doesn't seem to be any settings to turn down the volume, so hopefully you can hear me pretty well. Now, I've seen CJU games play up to like here, and then I decide I want to check it out for myself and not see a let's play of it from start to finish. So I'll just, finish the rest of that later. But it does look, remarkably weird. What happens if I... Alright, that seems to make them smaller. Do I want to make them smaller? I suppose so, so we'll just let that pour here. They had no business being that big in the first place, to be honest. Last one. An infinite amount of, smelted metal in there. Now, this game does recommend you use like a controller rather than a mouse and keyboard. So that's what I'm using here. And again, there's like no pause or anything. So I can't, see the controls. Looks like a piece of plaque. It's probably some statue of a thing. Or, also, yeah, it does look a bit like one of those ancient statues, kind of reminds me of that one very old statue of Yahweh, back when he was a, desert storm god. Alright, so I'm shaving this down. I don't seem to be able to control anything else. I mean, it's kind of similar to Scorn, where so much of it is just very weird abstract stuff happening where you don't really understand what's going on, but this seems to be going way further to Willful Abstraction. I don't think there's much of a coherent logic to anything going on here. Oh, I see. Go on. Spread your wings, bitch. Do it. Absolute skill issue. You saw those things go there over and over and over again, and you still did it. It's just natural selection at this point, man, Actually, we have no idea if that bird, managed to reproduce or not. So it might not be a true Darwin Award winner. That's something that so many people fail to remember, is that, like, the people who die stupidly have to die without reproducing, otherwise their stupid genes are passed on to the next generation. This bird looks almost metallic. Are you gonna be the new head? This is a sort of dark transhumanism the elites yearn for. It's kind of combine shit. We have uplifted a teapot by attaching it to a bird. Now he can melt so many more buffalo. Yeah, it's almost like a weird, you know, surreal Rube Goldberg machine where everything's accomplished in, like, the least convenient way possible. Get political, but the faces on these pears kind of look like Donald Trump. Say this is a much easier game to do commentary for than Obra Dinn, which is a puzzle game basically that just ended up like not being the sort of game that I can really edit easily around. Alright, give me one more just so I can see the face reasonably well. Not quite as well animated as the homunculi squishing machine in Scorn, that's for sure. Are we really gonna fill up the entirety of that little white bowl? One pixel at a time. I don't even think I cut this many pears. It's just giving me extra. But the animation's a little different there, so that's how you know it's done. It's like seeing dark outlines on an object in an old Scooby-Doo cartoon. You know something's out of place. The person who made this probably thought, oh wow, I'm being so weird, no one would expect this, I totally expected this. This is like the least weird thing that he could have possibly had walk out of that eggplant looking guy. Guess we'll just watch him slowly ambulate over to the green muck. I get that the game is $5 on Steam, but like, you don't have to pad it out like this. I'm not gonna refund it if I finish it under 2 hours, bro. Yeah, this would have been much better designed if the green muck came out of the opposite side of this thing. But he's finally almost there. You can see it. Drink up, you little greedy bastard. Watch as he doesn't even like it and just goes back. Nope, he's drinking. Wow, so I spent all that time, juicing those pear heads, and he only drinks half of it. Hours of just slaving away in the factory, and he doesn't even fully commit. There's a little frog in there, being rotated. This whole sequence here is like playing a fucking Sony game. I haven't had a single actual input as in terms of what's going on for a while. This is pretty much just the opening of God of War at this point. Oh, is that like the demon core? I see. Come on now. There we go. The bapping will continue as long as it needs to. There's nothing you can do, just accept your fate. Ah, two at once. The ultimate frog bapper. Oh, I could have gotten both of those easy. The game will not allow me to showcase my amazing gamer skills. We haven't seen or utilized the crushed bird head yet. It's like a little Mario Party minigame. Alright, just focusing on one at a time at this point. There we go. You just know a person who's doing all this shit in the oh, there's the bird head right there. Just know a person doing all this shit in the factory is probably getting paid minimum wage too. Employers just don't appreciate skilled frog bappers. Another bird. Just some strange alchemy, I guess. It's just grabbed by the teapot bird. What more can this machine do? I think you can only use, like, the right the left thumbstick for things here as well. Not to get political, but these carrots also look kind of like Donald Trump, but they're orange, so, I mean, that's just kind of it. They also look old. It's just bloody wasteful going through all of that to make the old people carrots and all you want are their heads. It's not a very environmentally sound factory. Oh. You spend so long watching machinery do things automatically, you sometimes just forget there are parts where you use a control stick. Carrots are we gonna have to partially decapitate? It's like 5 in each. 5, 10, 15, 20, right? It's just a circle of life, isn't it? Maybe walk just a little bit faster. We don't need a repeat of the little dachshund fetus. The horse refuses to oblige. He will walk at his own snail's pace. I knew you were a horse already. You coming into focus did not improve things. Oh, but he's eating the Trump carrots. Alright, fair enough. Are we gonna see them, like, inside of him? Since he's semi-translucent? Or she, I guess. Is it gonna shit him out? Alright, so now it's shitting over here. Are you gonna shit over here again? Fine, I'll keep it over here. It's one state or the other, you know? It doesn't, you can't do it in the middle. Yeah, I'll just leave it here. Fine, you know? We'll just wait with it here and... Alright, see, I know the next one's gonna be a far one, so you can't trick me. Fine, I'll go up here. Alright, I guess we finally collected enough. Surprisingly, most games don't include a little mini game of collecting horse shit in a box.
Time has made a change since my childhood days. Many of my friends have gone away. Some I never more in this life will see. Time has made a change in me.
So this person knows she would...
Has made a change in the old ways. Time has made a change in his smiling face. And I know my friends can plainly see. Time has made a change in me.
So were these people like alerted they would be playing a bag of horse shit, or is it just like, we need you to sing for our game, just don't worry about it. Got another one of these. So we're kind of seeing like how the individual stuff in the factory is making other, you know, the components of the factory. Like we've seen how the buffalo are remade, we've seen how this gets remade. The question is, what about those, you know, stuff that drops those, you know, little metal spheres in? Like, where are those sourced from? Because eventually a factory, like, you know, can't be a closed system. There has to be some continual outside resource gathering. But it looks like this is kind of the restart, or the big restart. We're flying over all the other components that made up everything in the factory. Yeah, what's those little red guys? Where are they getting their, you know, metal from? Little flying guy looked a bit like Peter Lorre from those old Looney Tunes cartoons, but yeah, slot waste, where they try their best not to waste anything, and it just repeats, I bet. Yep, so that's slot waste. I'll get to like the next part so we don't hear this tinging over and over. And then I'll give my thoughts. Alright, so this is obviously a game that prides itself in being as weird as possible, but does seem to genuinely try and come up with this whole Rube Goldberg scenario of these components, these processes, recreating essential components, you know, to continue the process over and over. Like we've seen, you know, it recreating these buffalo, we've seen it remaking this, you know, teapot thing. So it's not like utterly random, there is some sort of warped logic to it, but it's obviously also not a game that is interested in expanding upon anything or really giving any context as to why this factory is in operation. It's not like, say, Scorn, where, you know, for all the kind of abstract and sort of difficult to figure out things, especially if you don't have the art book. Can I get it here? Yeah. You'll be here. They still want to have some illusion of it being a cohesive world. Yeah, it's a game that exists primarily just to be weird as a bit of a shock game, I guess, but not like, you know, anything super violent or pornographic. It's just weird for the sake of being weird. It would have been better if some parts were sped up when there isn't like gameplay, like watching that dash hound slowly walk over to the green goop. Just because at that point, they're really, you know, once the initial reveal of it leaving the mouth is done, there's nothing really shocking about it. You know where it's going, you know where it came from. Nothing is really gained by seeing it move so slowly. But yeah, that's like, you know, wasted slot. I hope you enjoyed the video that gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.